Let's keep it going here. Our next Hall of Fame inductee, as we switch over to the men's side of things, please take a look at the video boards for the career of Peter Hudnut.
First off, let me start by saying thank you to USA Water Polo and the selection committee. I saw a few referees on that committee, so I'm very surprised and honored to be here. It is a tremendous journey, and again, I'm honored to be here. To the fellow inductees, it's a privilege. Chris and Karen, I mean, what you have done and the impact you've had on the sport is tremendous, and I hope to have a fraction of that over my time over the next few years. So again, thank you for everything you've done for the sport, and for me personally with NIAC and everything as well. Annika, from 2012, and my wife and I remember watching you at Stanford as well. You're a true force in the pool. But that video summed it up well. You are an inspiration to the next generation of student athletes, and it's been great. You've always been wonderful to me, so thank you for that. I'm here in no small part because of my role on the 2008 Olympic team, and that journey to it was, as you saw, difficult, I would say. But that team, that era, that moment in time of 2008 was a tremendous brotherhood that I am so grateful for. And I think a lot of people, while they focus on our accomplishment, and after 20 years, I think a number of us are finally getting accustomed to not saying we lost gold. I think it's now that we've won a silver. But that group of guys, that moment in time, it was by far the most selfless, connected team that I've ever been a part of. And the journey there, 9 of us had played together since 2000. And what we had gone through as a group, I mean, leading up to 2008, Terry and Robert Lynn were our coaches and led us through that final year. But over the course of that quadrennium, we had 4 coaches in 4 years. And I have to give Ricardo Azevedo the most props because he was the glue that kept us together during those 4 years and during that quadrennium. He fought hard for each and every one of us to be there, and we fought hard in return for him. So that win is just as much yours as it is ours. So thank you, Rico. So again, a lot of people focus on the quadrennium, but for us, it wasn't just 4 years prior or 4 years prior when I was named alternate, which for some of us in the room know is just a very polite way of saying last cut. And yes, a year prior to getting cut, almost to the day I had back surgery and wasn't sure if I'd ever really make it back to a certain level. But for me, the journey with that team really started 20 years earlier. In 1988, we had just moved to Southern California. The 88 Olympics was all over TV. We had Sports Illustrated for Kids, which shows how old I am. Which was full of the Olympics and stories of Olympians. And I was held back a year because I maybe learned different than other kids and was a little self-conscious, was a little insecure, and really took to the Olympics. It was around that time that I think a year later I actually wrote a poem in 3rd grade for a project that was about how I wanted to be an Olympian. Didn't really know what water polo was at the time, but through that journey, my father told me the Olympic motto, which is Citius, Altius, Fortius, swifter, higher, stronger, the idea of every day pursuing your potential. And for me, a kid that sometimes felt less than, I used to draw the Olympic rings on my forearm, and that would refocus me. That would make me less worried, less insecure, and give me a sense of centeredness that helped me push through difficult times. It was around that same period where I was introduced, because he worked for my father, to a guy that I truly believed he was Billy Joel. He had crazy hair. He was a very loud East Coaster. I think he's New Yorker. I can't recall, though. But it's Rich Corso. Rich Corso coached at Harvard School, which my father had taken over, which became Harvard Westlake. And Rich came into my life. He said, handed me a baby blue bag. And on one side was 1984, on the other side was USA. Inside was a Speedo, a water polo helmet, and a little ball. And he said, if you're willing to become a student of the game and work harder than you can ever imagine, water polo might be able to get you to your Olympic dream. Now, I didn't start playing for a few years after that because they didn't really have age group back then. But once I did, the passion was set, the goal was set, and I really owe Rich a tremendous amount. He couldn't be here. He's in Florida right now, but I speak to him regularly, and without him, who knows what my journey and my path would have been. It probably wouldn't have been water polo. Probably would have been football or something more basic, let's say. But I've always been lucky in the line of coaches that I've had. Incredible mentors, starting with Rich, who taught me the 4 Ds: desire, discipline, dedication, determination. He also taught me what deliberate practice was. And a lot of that I carried through my entire athletic career. Ricardo Azevedo, luckily, Ricardo and Rich were coaching the '96 Olympic team together, so I got to go and get dragged down to practice and watch the national team play. That's where Tony and I first became fast friends, and then had the privilege of traveling the world with my best friend for 16 years, representing our country and playing a sport that we loved. But Rico, again, you were a coach to me. Only a few times actually were you my coach, but most of the time you were always a tremendous mentor, and I'm truly grateful to have had that. So thank you for that. But again, I became very lucky. Coach Brum was my first junior team coach. Then I went on to Stanford with Dante Denamonte, who was tremendous. Radko Rudic, my first national team coach. Johnny Vargas coached me my last year at Stanford, but also he was the one that brought me up to the national team when I was in high school to get the crap kicked out of me, essentially. But it was a tremendous learning experience. I would drive from Harvard Westlake 77 miles down to Corona Del Mar to get beaten up for a few hours and then drive back and do homework. I loved it. But then also, like I said, in our journey with Rico, Robert Lynn, and Terry, it was a splendid time, and I'm very grateful for all of them and the impact they had on not only my career in water polo, but also in shaping me as a young man. So with my team as sort of the heart, my coaches are the mentors, but my family is the foundation. And I left them for last because I don't want to get emotional, and I seem to always get emotional. I don't think we've ever thanked our families enough through the journey. My sister is here, Sarah, with her husband, Jeb, and their daughter, Louise, Lulu. My brother is here, as well as my parents, Tom and Dee Dee. Your support through all the ups and downs has been tremendous, and it's nothing, would mean nothing without you in my life, so I'm grateful for everything. In our household, the pursuit of excellence was a through line. My parents embodied it, and all 3 of us were able to pursue our passions. Both of my siblings in entertainment, me in sport, and we chased it with ups and downs, but we chased it, and we were given liberty to do so. We all had tremendous opportunities in education, and again, the support of my family has been tremendous, and I don't think I ever openly said it, so I thank and love you. My parents especially, the number of times they've picked me up from training trips where they had to take me to the hospital or to a doctor. Let's just say it's more than one, and I'm grateful. I guess one quick story that popped up today was my very first tryout for the junior team. It must have been 1995, and we're driving from Deep Valley, Los Angeles, down to somewhere around here, and about 10 miles away from the tryout, the back tire on our Ford Explorer blew up. And we were already running a little tight. It was a little late. And I figured, hey, I'm one of the youngest people trying out. The likelihood of me making this team is slim to none. I'm getting nervous. I hate being late. And if you're late to your first tryout, usually doesn't bode well. But CHP officer pulls up. My mom could see me getting nervous. She jumped out of the car. Next thing I know, she comes back in and she says, the CHP officer's taking you to your tryout. Get ready to go. Do your best and have fun. So as I get into, luckily, the front of the CHP car, it was a valuable life lesson. Suck it up, do your best, have fun, and things will work out. And that was definitely a through line for my entire career. So again, I'm blessed with an amazing team, amazing friends. Jesse Smith drove 4 hours up here today in traffic, so thank you so much, buddy. And great mentors through coaches. So again, I'm very humbled to have this honor, and thank you all very, very much.